Nashville, it's time for the Lucas Oil High Jump Championship! Monster Jam fans, the rules are as follows for the Lucas Oil High Jump Championship. Each one of these superstars will have one attempt and one attempt only to execute their highest apex. Now keep in mind that all of the jumps will be recorded by the Lit Pro system. Each one of these Monster Jam trucks has a receiver on them, and as they fly high through the sky, we will take note of the highest point of their jump. Now keep in mind, the distance from the ground to the bottom of their lowermost tire will be what we are judging off from the Lit Pro system. Keep all of that in mind as you are watching, and we are about to crown our champion. Are you ready? Coming up first, Kayla Blood, Soldier Fortune.
Morgan, right now you can see Kayla Blood, Soldier of Fortune, trying to clear that mud off of the track. That has got to be a soupy mess down there.
Well, the hardest part is you just got to make sure you get down to the dry stuff so you can get some traction.
All right, let's hear it for Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune. Kayla Blood, Soldier Fortune, getting some nice air as she is kicking things off here in our Lucas Oil High Jump Championship. The original super glue glued to the action. Replay up on the video board as we await her official height.
You know, one of the things we might be looking at here is that you might not see the highest high jump that you've ever seen here today, but Morgan, that's not what's important. You just have to win today.
Well, with 20.5 feet being the official height of Soldier Fortune going up there with Kayla Blood, that was actually a lot higher than I anticipated it. But when you looked at how she took off from the starting gate, she completely missed the ramp. So going into the next couple trucks, we got to focus on when you take your whole shot towards that ramp, you got to make sure that your tires drive up the metal ramp that's planted into that ramp.
And that measurement is taken from the lowest part of the BKT tire.
That's right, is from the height of the lowest tire. And what we're trying to discourage is basically a king-sized sky wheelie competition.
Right.
We want these Monster Jam superstars to level off that truck as much as possible, really swing those back tires into the air as well.
Almost like a hurdler, so to speak. You want to be level. You don't want to be just straight up.
And the best way to do that as a driver is when you hit the ramp, you want to carry as much wheel speed off the ramp and then lock the brakes in the air, and it'll level the truck like a roller coaster.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Morgan, but it seems like that might be the most difficult thing to execute with the mud.
Yeah, I mean, if you hit the brakes too early, you're not going to have enough wheel speed. If you hit it too late, then it's just going to be a giant sky wheelie.
Honestly, excellent job, though, by Kayla Blood, Soldier Fortune, kicking things off and really showing the rest of the field of competition how it's going to be done.
Coming up next, it's Nick Pagliarulo, Kraken.
Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken kind of lining up as he does for his Great Clips Two-Wheel Skills Challenge during the 2023 season. So he's very meticulous how he lines up. I've seen it all season long. He likes to really align those BKT tires to where he wants to exactly hit. Now, I know he might fishtail a little bit, but this is perfect Nick Pagliarulo Kraken type of moves here.
Morgan, as we see this approach where they're really just starting to shake that mud loose, is this something with the rain coming down each driver is going to have to do multiple times, you think?
It's always good to just kind of feel out that whole shot, but I mean, you really would just want to get it over with.
Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken. Let's hear it. Remember, he has to beat a height of 20.5. Let's hear it one more time. Nick Pagliarulo, Kraken. Definitely some great air that we saw there from Kraken, and he's no stranger to big air as we take a look at the Super Glue Glued to the Action replay brought to you by the original Super Glue, and we can see his height 21.6486.
I think the biggest key here is that we got to have the first driver actually hit the takeoff. So Nick did the same thing as Kayla. When you do your hold shot, they're sliding from left to right, and they're completely missing the big popper that they've planted in there. So as you can see on the replay, you're looking at the red and the blue. You want to have the tires go straight up that to get the most pop, especially with the dirt being as soft as it is there right now.
And again, only to the naked eye on that replay, but it did look like Nick Pagliarulo got his truck just a bit more horizontal than Kayla Blood was able to do.
Yeah, right when your back tires come off that ramp, you're locking brakes, you're trying to get as much wheel speed as you can, and Nick did a great job at leveling the truck out because it's measuring to the bottom of your tires.
Coming up next, last year's high jump champion, Ryan Anderson, son of a digger.
For that height to be 21.649 right now from Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken as he gets lined up and ready to take his attempt here at the Lucas Oil High Jump Championship run here. Lining up, and you've seen him all season long, John, especially on Stadium Championship Series Blue. Again, somebody who has no fear when it comes to skyrocketing out there.
Ryan Anderson has no fear when it comes to anything with a Monster Jam truck, that is for sure.
What a send there! Let's hear
Ladies and gentlemen, that is how it's done. Ryan hit it perfectly. He knew the truck was sliding from left to right, lined the BKT tires right with the best pop in the ramp, which is that red and blue pop you see here on the replay. Perfect execution and the highest jump we've seen tonight.
Wow.
Morgan, one of the things to keep in mind, obviously, with Ryan Anderson winning this competition last year, he has the experience of being out there, of hitting this ramp, and that is something that Kayla Blood and Nick Pagliarulo can't say.
Well, this isn't something that Ryan does only here at the World Finals. He does this everywhere else. He goes for the biggest ramp out on the course and flat foots it, and look at that air right there. Biggest air of the night so far.
We are awaiting the official height from our officials right now as you take a look at the original Super Glue. Glued to the action replay. Height is coming up here in just a moment. That official height is 28.616. He's now your new leader.
And you know, it was Morgan Kane up here who whispered as soon as he hit the apex of that jump in real time, that's at least 27 feet, and that is at least 27 feet. 28.616 to be exact. Coming up next, it's Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid.
Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid, also one of two, of course, Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, that will be participating in all four of our World Finals championships. He sent it earlier this year in the 2023 season, so I'm anxious to see what he's going to do. And if these track conditions are going to dry up as they continue to turn up that runway right there, Morgan.
Well, one of the things that I'm seeing here is just in these first couple trucks is that the dirt crew's done such an amazing job at building this landing ramp, because one of the things that you don't want to do as a driver is you don't want to go 30 feet high in the air and flat land, because that does not feel good. And now you have the confidence, you know, within 3 trucks you can go as fast as you can at this ramp and you're going to downside it. So that's the best feeling.
And it looks like Camden Murphy is ready to send it. Let's see.
He sends Dragonoid into the sky. Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid.
Well, one of the things that I noticed from that and Camden Murphy was it was a unique strategy. He started in second gear, so you didn't hear him shift from first to second, helping that wheel speed, but a little late on tapping the brakes. Didn't have that best level to be able to get the tires as high as possible.
We're going to find out right here, right now.
This is going to be close. As we take a look at the video board, 26.0480, the official height for Camden Murphy and Bakugan Dragonoid.
Certainly something Camden can be proud of in that second place right now, but that that height to beat is going to continue to belong to Ryan Anderson and son of a digger. Coming your way next, it's Bryce Kenny, Great Clips, Mohawk Warrior.
So Bryce Kenny and the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior representing Stadium Championship Series Red as well. And he and Camden kind of had a little battle on social media on who got the higher jump. I believe it was in Cleveland this year. So we will see between those two and, of course, who gets to see if they will surpass Ryan Anderson and son of a digger. That's height to be 28.616.
Not quite as high, but great execution in the brakes, leveling the truck out. I think that Bryce did the same thing that Camden did. He started in second gear. Not sure if that's the right strategy here, because they're starting to clear this out. Great height, but I don't think it's going to be enough to do first place.
Well, he also didn't do the run-up that we've seen
Right.
a lot of these other drivers do, and is that because he feels like underneath the tires when he's sitting there at the start, he doesn't have to?
Well, I think the run-up, it not only clears the mud from your tires, but it also helps build temperature in the motor. So with it being a lot cooler than it was earlier, the optimum temperature is 180 degrees in that motor to get the most horsepower.
Let me ask you point blank, do you think that might be a mistake from Bryce Kenny?
I don't think it's a mistake. Bryce is somebody that is very familiar around motors and performance. It might have been a strategy on his part to just go ahead and get it done.
Well, we are about to find out as the official height is going to be locked in here in just one moment as we take a look at that original Super Glue Glued to the Action replay coming up here in just a second. The official height is 26.769, good enough right now for the second spot.
So he does overtake Camden Murphy as far as that grudge match goes, but it is not enough for the top spot. Coming up next, Colt Stevens, Thunder Roaris.
I think one of the things that I'm noticing right now, not quite the air that we're seeing from Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger, but all of these drivers are starting in second gear. I think that might be a mistake. I think they're losing a lot of wheel speed off of that initial 10 feet at that run, not getting as much speed in the truck when you hit that pop.
It seemed like when Camden Murphy was the first to do it, you were almost a little bit impressed with the strategy. But now that you've seen it 3 times, are you starting to feel that, it's maybe not quite the best approach?
The official height is up, actually, guys. 24.105 from Colt Stevens and Thunder Roaris.
It's a strategy that you would call short shifting. You're trying to continue to just keep it rolling, but it's so tough because you're not getting that wheel speed that you need.
Coming up next, the first ever high jump champion in Monster Jam World Finals history, Cynthia Gautier, Lucas Stabilizer.
Don't forget the height to be 28.616 from Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. And will she be able to claim another World Final Championship here in the high jump? We are about to find out. Cynthia Gautier, of course, as you know, has zero fear as well going into the sky like that. Obviously, we've seen it time and time again, especially on social media, especially if you're live in the stands with her.
Well, I think with our new way of judging now, last year was the highest point on the truck. That's Cynthia's strength. You think about what she likes to do is just shoot it as high as you possibly can in that Lucas Oil Stabilizer. But with the strategy that we have now, it plays to a lot of the veteran drivers, hitting brakes as hard as you can to be able to level that truck out. But it looks like she might have a little bit of an issues firing up right now.
And Morgan, I know it's hard because you're only looking at the same video board that all these fans are looking at, but is there anything you could see from your experience in the truck that you might be able to let us know a little bit as to what's going on?
Well, I think for me, as having the experience, you want to be able to start the truck with the most power that you can. And for example, your fans, the cooling fans, take a lot away. Transmission fans take a lot away. So you turn everything off and only start the car, or only start the truck with the starter. So most of the time, a lot of the drivers will leave all the switches up, and that means you're pulling cooling fans, you're pulling transmission fans, you're pulling all these lights and things that are drawing from the battery. You just want to start the truck up and then turn everything else on.
Well, and I did see at one point one of those safety techs grabbing one of the jump box. So, of course, as KCG had said, moisture and things like that do not bode well with electrical issues. But I think she's ready to go.
And there you see that signature trucker horn blaring throughout Nissan Stadium. So I think we're going to get our attempt once the recovery vehicle is off. Here we go.
little fishtailing there we just saw, so she's definitely going to reel that back in a little bit there, Morgan. I know you just saw that. Your eyebrows kind of raised up.
Yeah, I was hoping that was just going to be a burn-off pass because she was not straight at all, but this looks like a straight pass.
Let's hear it for Cynthia Gautier and the Lucas Stabilizer.
That was perfectly executed. That was a great job, great run-up, great pop, and also in the air, spectacular. Allowed all the wheel speed, hit the brakes, levels out perfect for that peak height.
That's a huge height right there for Cynthia Gautier and Lucas Stabilizer. Height is about to pop up on the video board. 28.122 for Cynthia Gautier and Lucas Stabilizer. So close.
I'm trying to figure out like exactly as a driver why I wouldn't beat Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger, and I think that Ryan does a great job at building temperature in the motor. I think that temperature in the motor is your friend. When you get closer to that 180 to 200 degrees mark, you're going to have that optimum power that comes out of the Monster Jam trucks. With Cynthia, she didn't do as much burn-off passes, and she has been sitting for a while since the intro. So for me, she might not have had as much temperature in the motor as she wanted, but we can all speculate here. I feel like that's still a great height for second place.
Yeah, and to really honestly think that she was so close there to coming in to really going up against, Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger with that second spot right now she's at here in the Lucas Oil High Jump.
I think the main thing, Morgan, is that it's definitely a run that Cynthia can be proud of. I mean, especially if there's something plaguing that Monster Jam truck. We saw before the run. We see it now after the run. Look, I know there's no title here. You want to win the world championship, and obviously she's come up just a little bit short. But I think she did nearly everything she could in that run.
And that's all you can do. You can just do your best and do the things that you know that you can control, and that's go as hard as you can at that ramp. One of the things that I also like to talk about is gearing. I think gearing can be a change, whether if she has gears that are ready for racing or gears that she's putting in especially for the high jump. You think about the wheel speed, but Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger, he knows how to bring the RPMs up, temperature in the motor. He's a professional when it comes to getting the most air that you possibly can in the Monster Jam truck.
Well, also too, we're standing up here right now, and there's not much moisture coming down like it was here just a little bit earlier. So that might also play into the fact that the track is not getting as soaked as it was here just a moment ago. But I think we've got an update though from our pit reporter, Casey G. Casey, what's going on back there?
Well, folks, I'm down here in the pits, and the one good thing about the rain is that it does change things a little bit. You saw how much air the drivers were getting. Well, when they land, you think about it, that's a lot of air when they land. That's pretty difficult on the truck. But when there's a lot of moisture on the track, you actually saw the trucks, instead of rebounding, they were sliding. And so it wasn't just the truck that was absorbing all of the shock. It was also the track. And so as of right now, I just checked in with our fleet manager, Brad Hilson, and he said that so far it's been a pretty clean event. The trucks are looking good, but something that we are anticipating for later, which is what Cynthia in Lucas Oil was dealing with, where Lucas Stabilizer was, we're anticipating some electrical issues. So you think about something like the starter, the battery, a fuse. When it's really moist out there on the track, some of that moisture can creep into some of the electrical elements. So this is a starter. This is literally what's responsible for starting the truck. So there is an electrical component in the starter that ends up pushing out this gear on the end, and that is what it connects to the flywheel, and that's what turns over the engine. That's what actually starts the truck. And so typically this is a really easy fix. It's a 5-minute fix. Same with the battery, same with the fuse, but those are issues that could stand between a driver and a world title. So this is the starter. We're probably going to talk about it more later, as well as those electrical components. And so more to come back here from the pits. We got a lot more action coming your way.
We'll take a look up at the Lucas Oil High Jump Championship leaderboard. Son of a Digger, Lucas Stabilizer in those top two spots. The only one who hasn't gone, the only one without a score, the legend, Mr. Excitement, Jim Kohler, and Avenger coming your way next. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Kohler, Avenger.
Remember that height to be 28.616 as we are going to get set to see Jim Kohler and Avenger take off. Let's hear it for Jim Kohler, Avenger.
John, that was a tough one. I think that Jim did a great job at really turning the RPMs up in the motor, but as he hit the ramp, it sent him over to the right. He completely missed the landing. The right rear tire stuffed it in the ground. It looks like he might have to take it back to the pits and analyze some stuff.
Well, I think when we look at the difference between a competitor like Jim Kohler and Ryan Anderson's so technical. Jim Kohler just unbelievably fearless and just pushes the truck to the limit.
The official height is in 19.989, which means your World Finals 22 Lucas High Jump Champion, Ryan Anderson, son of a digger.
And that means we have a back-to-back for Ryan Anderson and son of a digger. He came out, and Morgan, this is the run right here. It made you say wow off the microphone. You had some great analysis, but we see it again on the original Super Glue glued to the action replay.
I think the biggest difference here is that Ryan was the first one to line up perfect and hit that pop on the ramp. So with him being able to line up perfectly, make all the run, get as most pop out as you can, it's no surprise. Ryan Anderson, world champion.
He is now a 4-time World Finals champion, solidifying his name in the record books as well. So congratulations to Ryan Anderson, son of a digger. Wow.
It's an incredible moment, and it's one, he wasn't quite my pick. If fans remember back to trackside, I was going with Cynthia Gautier and Lucas Stabilizer, but you can never go wrong, and it's so hard to bet against Ryan Anderson, Morgan. That's the thing I've learned the last 2 seasons working with that man, is that you can never count him out.
Yeah, that's something that I feel like is just in our brain. We want to make sure that others get the opportunity, but Ryan is just so good. You think about the veterans of the sport; they're just so good. They know how to execute when the time matters.
Barry Moosauer calls him the blueprint, and the more you watch him, the more you understand it.
You definitely do, and I've not been able to really see him all season long. I was with him in the 2021 series as well, so to be able to see what he's been able to do throughout these years that I haven't been able to see him, to me, biggest wow that I can say for sure.
Well, one of the things that I love to touch on here is that I don't want to discount the fact that the Lucas Oil High Jump competition was an amazing feat right here. Ryan Anderson winning that. This isn't the one he wants to win. He wants to win everything else now.
Yeah.
He is just setting the bar right now. This is so much more to come for the night for here with you Monster Jam fans, and I know Ryan's excited to be able to take the first trophy home tonight.
We did get a good shot of that recovery cart taking Ryan Anderson up the starting gate. He's going to catch up with Leslie Mears coming up in just a few moments. But ladies and gentlemen, there you see the heights up on the video board. I mean, it is a back-to-back win for Ryan Anderson. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your Lucas Oil High Jump champion, Ryan Anderson.
Well, Morgan, as we get ready to crown our World Finals 22 high jump champion, you know, Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, we've got to really talk now a little bit about that transition, because we're going to be coming into the next competition, and Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid, and Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, they are on all of the competitions. So what are our UNOH technicians doing right now to make sure they're ready to go?
I think the hardest part is that you want all the grip that you possibly can have in the two-wheel skills competition. I think that being the championship and it being muddy out here, it's going to be tough. You're going to have to get creative, and I think even back to like the old school days of just slap wheelies, I think this lap wheelie is going to be a great move here to start off and get a great score on the board. Don't get too technical with it. Bicycles, it's going to be tough to be able to execute because there's not a lot of wiggle room. You'll see a lot of trucks, if they try it, they'll just slide out because you're not getting as much grip as what you traditionally would.
Would you set shocks differently? Would you change gear ratio? Would you do any of those things, or would you just kind of let the truck settle?
I think you just got to let the truck settle. You just got to put it all on the driver. I mean, these are the best drivers in the world right now for the Monster Jam World Finals. I mean, you're here for a reason, and I think that now it's your time. You got to make sure that all the UNOH technicians, they can do everything to the truck that they possibly can, but the two-wheel skills championship is something that it's up to you as a driver, and you got to execute.
You won't be able to really look at the track, neither their technicians nor their drivers right now. So for Camden and Ryan, do they have the advantage now that they've kind of just been even able to sit out on the track and just look at the different jumps right now? Is there any advantage to even that?
It's so tough, you know, because you think about advantage in rain, and there's really not much. I think that the biggest thing that you would take away here is that Ryan and Camden have felt the truck out a little bit. They're already in that mindset because we haven't had shows in a while. So with the events, this one, they're getting used to sliding around a bit. So I think being able to have that forgiving feeling, they already have it. And the drivers that are in the back that haven't competed yet, they're already one step ahead.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that insight. And we're going to be crowning our World Finals champion here in just a moment. Ryan Anderson, son of a digger.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are going to have our medal presentation for the Lucas Oil High Jump Competition. Your bronze medal winner, driving the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, Bryce Kenny. Your silver medalist, driving Lucas Stabilizer, Cynthia Gautier. And now, your gold medalist, son of a digger driver, Ryan Anderson. Ladies and gentlemen, your Lucas Oil High Jump champions. So Ryan, for you talked about having that brand new engine. How much of a factor did that play with the conditions out here today?
To be honest with you, that was not an advantage for me. I had to keep my tires from spinning. I had to roll into that throttle, keep the traction as much as I could. But the biggest thing that happened we weren't ready for was the aim of the ramp. Everybody going to the ramp in front of me actually didn't even hit the metal ramp in there. So I made sure that I aimed away from it, which actually brought me right into the ramp. So I was the first one to hit the metal ramp, and I can promise you one thing, I was wide open throttle, baby. That was huge air. I loved it. That is exactly what I need, myself, and you fans need to start out this World Finals. I can promise you, rain or shine, it's about to get wild here tonight, and that's just the beginning.
Well, I know you said it was all about strategy, but you had a little bit of luck on your side, too. Something really crazy happened in the truck.
Yeah, my nephew Wade Anderson, I know you're right over there, he pranked me. And it didn't come out until I got going down this ramp. He made a stinky air freshener of my face that popped out in front of me, right as I was pulling down there to line up. So you got me, Wade. It stinks in my truck now, but it was good luck, and it got me this gold medal right here in the high jump world championship for the second time in a row.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's congratulate him one more time. Ryan Anderson, your gold medalist in the Lucas Oil High Jump.